Howdy, my name is Nonat, and for the first time in literally 6 days, it is cool enough for me to record something. I should have done my hair first. But I was too excited because we got another Pathfinder 2e Player Core 2 Remastered class preview, and you know I gotta jump on this 24 hours after it came out. Listen, I'm not a 2-hour reporting news channel, I'm sorry. I was playing Magic the Gathering with my friends. But if you've seen yesterday's video on the Solarian or my video a few weeks ago about the Champion remaster, you know how this goes. We're gonna read the blog post, go over all the new content leaks that have come out about how the class is being remastered, and I'm gonna freak out and fangirl because I love this damn game, y'all. Let's jump into it. But first, I want to thank all the members of the Nonat1's Patreon, everybody on this list in front of you, for supporting me and the channel. Every single person here is part of the reason I can continue to do this for a living, so thank all of you so very much. If you would like to also become a patron and support the channel, there is a link in the description where you can pledge for $10 a month. Thank you very much. Oracle time. Player Core 2 preview, the Oracle Remastered. Ooh, are we starting with some poetry? I see it in the flickering of my monitor. I hear it in the cawing of the seagulls fighting over a bagel outside my window. I smell it in my coffee from down the street. Not the coffee from up the street. The coffee from the other street. Or the coffee from the corner. This is Seattle after all. Hey yo, represent. For the Oracle, coming in Pathfinder Player Core 2, is remastered. I have no idea what this was about, but it's a fun way to start it. Let's get into it. Oracles are divine spellcasters who draw their power not from prayer or devotion to a deity, but from a first-hand connection to the great mysteries of the universe. This connection is a double-edged sword, though, as gazing too deeply into these mysteries results in terrible backlash in the form of a divine curse. While this unique relationship with the divine and its power at a price theme offer strong and appealing role-playing hooks that are very Galarian, the original Oracle was often thought of as intimidatingly complex, or as a class that made the player jump through hoops to unlock its potential. I'm glad they're saying this outright. There have been constant people throughout the last 3 years saying the Oracle's not that complex, you're all overreacting, just read it. It's really complex. There's a reason it's one of the longest videos, even though it's cut into 2 parts on my channel from however many years ago. Oracles were crazy with their curses and their minor curses, but you could only exacerbate them to a moderate curse without overwhelming yourself, and then at a higher level you unlock the major curse but not the greater curse, and then if you come back down to it you still have the minor curse effect at all times unless you fully refocus, in which case it turns off the minor curse effect. All of this on top of all the different spells and feats and class features and what your curse actually does. That's just a very quick 10-second glimpse into the class. It was vomiting all of its features in front of you. It was a lot. I'm not saying they should make it a cleric. It should not just be a spellcaster, but they're gonna have to do something interesting to make the Oracle more digestible to players. The remastered Oracle has been changed in ways both large and small to reduce its complexity and pain points, while still allowing players who want to risk fate to draw upon their curse to gain power. That's totally fine. Nobody was ever complaining, oh, I hate that my curse has a downside. It was much more like the plus sides very rarely outweighed the negatives, especially at early levels. You look at something like the battle mystery or whatever it's called, I'll put it on screen here. Sure, you get bonuses to your attack rolls, but that'll just barely put you on par with a martial while giving you penalties, I think, to armor class, making you even easier to hit. It was hard to build an Oracle that didn't feel like they were just easily exploitable. The big change. Instead of an Oracle's curse giving them a large suite of abilities, some which are buffs and some which are debuffs and some which might go either way, the Oracle's curse now just strictly debuffs the player. We've done it. I promise this made the class stronger. Go on. Ooh, if they take this in the direction where the Oracle will have status effects on themselves and they can flip the curse's status effects onto enemies, oh, your curse makes you permanently clumsy too, but as a focus spell you can make X number of creatures in your area also clumsy too. That would be kind of sick. Because the classic Oracle's curse boosted some stats while lowering others, it could be unclear whether being cursed was a benefit you were trying to get ASAP or a price you had to strategically work around. I agree with that, absolutely. You wanted the benefits from your curse because that's what you built your character around, but it was also not always worth it. because sometimes the penalties were just way too rough, but you also needed them if you wanted to play your character. It was really, really weird. I was not a fan. I never ended up playing an Oracle. The closest I got was a fighter with the Oracle dedication and a few archetype feats, but that was mostly just for flavor. In the remaster, they are always a price, which lets us significantly dial up the power that you get for paying it and keeps the trade-off simple to understand. Cheat the rules of creation for power, and you get cursed. Interesting. So it is always going to be an inherently negative thing to exacerbate your curse, but I'm guessing this means our focus spells are going to get insanely more powerful. That, yeah, you have access to focus spells that are a whole league ahead of the rest of the class's focus spells, but in return, every time you use another one in the same combat, you, the Oracle, are getting more and more horribly cursed. I think that's a really cool way to do it. I like that a lot better. If that's how we're doing it, I'm still just guessing. The new Oracle's Cursebound trait appears not on their focus spells, but instead on specific feats and other actions that have a notable advantage over similarly leveled feats, like cheating the action economy, letting you automatically learn about your target without a skill check or other similar benefits. Now you're talking, Paizo. Okay, now you're talking my language. Making the Oracle a spellcaster who can also do curse-related things is awesome, rather than having their spells be cursed. I am into this, especially if it cheats the system in a cool way. You know, if your curse is super debilitating, but you get to make an attack roll automatically hit without rolling, that would be so cool for something like a Battle Oracle. Like, you get a couple guaranteed hits where you cannot miss, but in return, your curse gets worse. Ooh, I'm loving this. Each mystery grants a curse-bound ability at level 1 to let them draw on their power, like Foretell Harm. Before we read Foretell Harm, does this mean that the Oracle no longer has focus spells? If they're removing the focus spells completely, that's a fascinating direction to take the class. I don't think they will, because I think every single spellcaster in the game has focus spells. Foretell Harm, free action, first level feat, once per round if your previous action was to cast a non-cantrip spell that dealt damage. Then your magic echoes ominously as you glimpse injury in the target's future. At the beginning of your target's next turn, it takes damage equal to twice the triggering spell's rank, and a seemingly random and minor misfortune finds it. The damage and type of misfortune is a type of matching the spell. For instance, if you dealt fire damage, a flame might spontaneously ignite on them, or they might burn a hand on their torch. They are then immune to Foretell Harm for 24 hours. Interesting. I thought it was going to say twice the spell's damage, which would have been freaking nuts. That's not bad. It is, so at level 1, you know, that's 2 extra guaranteed damage on a free action, which should not be overlooked. And a misfortune, which the GM will usually say is probably a couple points more damage or a condition. GMs, if you are running for a remastered Oracle, definitely keep the enfeebled, clumsy, and stupefied conditions in mind depending on what they cast. This I do love, because this encourages creativity on both the player and the GM's part with their spells. Oh, Foretell Harm? Disintegrate? What's the misfortune? You and the GM can work together to talk about what that is. Maybe they get blasted and their shield disintegrates as part of the spell. That would be really cool. I think there's a lot of fun to be had with Foretell Harm. Granted, melting their shield isn't exactly a minor misfortune, so having it be minor is where the creativity is going to get really pushed. When you use a Cursebound ability, your Cursebound condition increases in value. Ooh, they're making it an actual condition. Rather than going minor curse, moderate curse, major curse, now it's just Cursebound 1, Cursebound 2, Cursebound 3. I love this. I wouldn't even be mad if this functions like Sickened and Frightened, where it's just -1 to everything. If the abilities are going to be super powerful to accommodate, I love the idea that the Oracle levels themselves down throughout the fight, but let's see. As your Cursebound condition increases, the deleterious effects, deleterious, causing harm or damage. Deleterious. Huh. The bad effects of your curse increase as well, giving you a penalty to certain saving throws or a weakness to certain damage types. Okay, so it's not even as bad as leveling down. It's going to be based on your mystery, which is cool, which is going to reduce certain stats of your character sheet. I dig that. So it's like a limited leveling down of certain aspects based on your curse. That's awesome. Like the classic Oracle, the Remastered Oracle can tolerate higher and higher curse-bound values as they increase in level, letting them use more curse-bound abilities. While most of these curse effects are relatively simple, we do know that a lot of Oracle players enjoyed the more disruptive curse effects that could really throw variety into your battle. We've kept many of these as curse-bound feats, like Meddling Futures, where spirits vie for control over your body, or Thousand Visions, where visions of the future grant you great perception within a short range, but overwhelm you. That just sounds like having ADHD in a public place. Which are now selectable by any mystery. Interesting. I expected these to be subclass specific. These were subclass specific feats that give you a really powerful thematic ability and a thematic unique downside. But now, no matter what mystery you have, you can use Thousand Visions and gain a bunch of information? Interesting. Now Oracle players who want to opt into this complexity can do so, and Oracles who want more straightforward benefits can keep it simple. I love that. I think giving the option for complexity is the correct way to design a class. I have no gripes with a class being super complicated and deep and as fancy as you want to make it, but give people an easy entry-level opportunity to explore that class, because new players should not be told, hey, you can't play this class. Too complicated, your head is too smooth, you can't understand it. No. Bad. Play a fighter. No one wants that new player experience. If the new player wants to play a divine Oracle who can see the future, they should be able to do that. We've also made several smaller changes throughout the Oracle in no particular order. We've made it easier to tailor your Oracle's spell list to your mystery. Each mystery now grants 3 thematic spells to their repertoire, and all Oracles automatically gain a Divine Access class feature halfway through their career that lets them expand this list. Okay, cool. So it sounds like Oracles might have more spell choices than other spontaneous casters, because if they get 3 from their repertoire and they're still allowed to pick 2 from being level 1, I don't know if that's the case, we'll have to see when it comes out. But that would give them 5 first level spells to pick from, compared to a sorcerer I think gets 3 or 4. We've doubled the number of available domains for Oracles who want to harness domain magic. All mysteries now grant 4 related domains. Now your Battle Oracle might gain the Destruction domain, or your Cosmos Oracle the Star domain. Cool. So focus spells are still going to be on Oracles. It just sounds like they're going to be domain focused, the same as Clerics. So Clerics and Oracles, I think, are going to have the exact same focus spells, and I'm guessing Oracles are going to have a low-level feat that lets them pick a domain and get a focus spell from a domain under their mystery, just like Clerics can do. We've added dashes of ominous, portentous, delirious flavor throughout the class to really make you feel like you're channeling otherworldly powers. That's cool. I'm interested to see how they're going to do that, because the Oracle at times did just feel like a cleric with a bad hangover. And that wasn't bad. It still fit the flavor, but I hope there's a little bit more diversifying it from the other divine casters. Sorcerers have the magic in their blood, but also sort of fall into that same issue. But what's nice about divine sorcerers is they have unique focus spells rather than the cleric who just picks from domains, same as the Oracle. So hopefully we'll see a lot of unique stuff for the Oracle, and it sounds like they're getting a ton of new stuff, specifically in feats, which is wild for a spellcaster, because spellcasters don't tend to be super feat reliant, so I'll be curious to see how that works for the new Oracle. With more streamlined mysteries and curses, we had room to add a greater number of unique Oracle feats, a thing that was often cited as lacking in the classic Oracle, and same for most spellcasters in that way. Like I was just saying, most spellcasters don't rely on feats, and thus spellcaster feats aren't that important depending on your build. Obviously if you're playing a melee war priest, you might want the war priest's armor feat, but how many wizards really hit level 4 and go, now my build is online? The Dead Walk 2 actions, Cursebound, level 10 for the Ancestors or Battle mystery. You beseech warrior spirits to come forth and aid you. 2 ghostly warriors manifest within a 30-foot emanation of you, and each attempt to strike against an adjacent enemy using your spell attack modifier, then disappear. They each deal 4d6 spirit damage, can flank with one another, and if you are already Cursebound 2 when you use this, you summon 3 warriors. If you're Cursebound 3, you summon 4 warriors. It doesn't say they use your multiple attack penalty. I know this is level 10, and at level 10 you can be Cursebound 2 and I think 3. So does this mean you can make 3 4d6 attacks with no multiple attack penalty? That's not bad. You compare that to a cantrip. Cantrips at that level do about 5d4, 5d6 to a single target, maybe 5d4 to 2 targets if it's like Electric Arc. And so it's not crazy, but it's cool that they can flank with each other. Again, getting off guard on a spell attack roll is hard, and being able to do that automatically with the Dead Walk is super cool. I'll be interested to see this, especially it's not a focus spell. If you want to, you can do this every turn for 3 turns in a row, and it keeps getting stronger. Like, turn 1, you summon 2, now you're Cursebound 1. Turn 2, you do the Dead Walk again for 2 more warriors, now you're Cursebound 2. Turn 3, you Dead Walk again, now there's 3 warriors, you're Cursebound 3, and if you really need to push it, turn 4, Dead Walk 4, 4d6 attacks. Lord knows how bad the curse is going to be at that level, and I think you might overwhelm yourself at that point. But even at Cursebound 2, you're looking at 12d6 damage for 2 actions, doesn't cost a spell slot, doesn't cost a focus point. This is basically like twice as strong as a cantrip, and I think that's great. As long as you can reduce your Cursebound condition the same way you could in the original Oracle, just by like taking 10 minutes to control the curse, I think this will be fantastic. I'm assuming it's going to scale. If this doesn't scale, it's terrible. It'll be really good for like 2 or 3 levels, and then you train out of it. But I assume it's going to be like every 2 character levels increase the damage by 1d6. I think that would be a decent scaling. Maybe even too strong. I don't know. Because then technically, if you're using the 3, it'll go up by 3d6 every 2 levels. But I don't know. Super cool. Love that it doesn't use your multiple attack penalty. That's a really, really fun ability. We're getting close to the release of Player Core 2 with Ancestries, Archetypes, and more, so be sure to subscribe to the rulebook line, pre-order the book, and make a note to swing by our booth at Gen Con. I wish I was going to be there. Sadly, I will not, because money. But yeah, I think we're going to get one more reveal. I think we still have to get the Alchemist preview, but I'm not sure. I don't know if we're going to get all the classes or just a few of them. I've been loving going over these, and from the viewership, sounds like you guys are as well. So hope you're enjoying it. Hope you look forward to whatever other leaks we get before the official release of Player Core 2. You know I'll be covering it. There's actually one that came out last week, I think, that I didn't cover, that I need to cover. Was it Swashbuckler? I'll figure it out. That's all from me. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, no nat ones.